Peace. What's going on? Patrick, Conservative Rap, and let's get straight into it. It's a spiritual battle. Things may get a lot worse before they get better. So sometimes it takes people as a nation to see rather than be told. And I think we're really going into a very unique time where the distinction between right and wrong is becoming clear. Democrats are resorting not only to violence but to paid protesters, for example, while Trump's rallies are organic. Let's take a quick look. I'll start with X and we'll just proceed on. First, CNN has finally acknowledged the horrific murder of Erna Zarutska. If you look really closely, you might even find it. At least 6 killed in shooting. Oh, here it is, highlighted in red. Way down at the bottom, video shows fatal stabbing of Ukrainian refugee on Charlotte light rail, stirring debate on crime in major U.S. cities. Just imagine if the roles were reversed, where things would go. Moving on, here's another one. You may not have even heard of this. It happened again. Another white woman was hacked to death, quote unquote, over the weekend for no apparent reason by a suspect who was black with multiple prior arrests, including illegal possession of a sawed-off shotgun, and by removing serial numbers from firearms in Virginia. Julie Gard Schnuel, a former veterinary professor, had taken her dog for a walk in Auburn when the suspect, Harold Rashad Dabney III, allegedly murdered her by stabbing and stole her truck before being arrested the next day. Her dog stayed by her side until her body was discovered. Once again, if the races were reversed, exactly, the outcry would be instantaneous and apocalyptic. Yet you're probably just hearing about this right now. Let's take a quick listen.
Auburn police have made an arrest in the death of former Auburn professor Dr. Julie Schinelli. This update coming just about 5 minutes ago in a press release. Auburn police say they have arrested Harold Rashad Dabney III from Montgomery and have charged him with 2 counts of capital murder in connection to the death of Dr. Schinelli at Kiesel Park. The police say they received a call about a suspicious person on around 8:45 a.m. on Sunday morning on Beehive Road. And Auburn police say through contact with Dabney, they have made the observation and through further investigation have labeled Dabney the suspect in the homicide involving Dr. Schinelli. Now, according to Lee County Coroner Daniel Sexton, Schinelli's wounds appear to be consistent with sharp force trauma, meaning caused by a knife or other sharp objects. And also, Auburn police say that the Schinelli's red Ford F-150 that was taken from Kiesel Park on Saturday was found along Lee Road 177 or Wire Road in Auburn, and Auburn police have taken that truck. And it was found abandoned again on Wire Road in Auburn on Sunday afternoon. Now, Kiesel Park is still closed and remains a crime scene with crime scene state.
Disgusting. Moving on, let's just go straight into vaccines. Ironically, this was on the Charlie Kirk show. May he rest in peace. God bless his family. Extremely disturbing what's been occurring here. But check this out, just on the vaccine front. You get poisoned by Coca-Cola, you can stop drinking it. You get poisoned by a vaccine, your kids still have to take it to get to school. You have reservations about it, you got to take it. Then, of course, the mainstream media is brought in brain dead when it comes to these issues. They will not criticize, they will not report vaccine injury. Let's go straight into it.
I mean, those companies, we have a free market system in this country, and part of that is that there's consequences if you make a bad product. And, vaccines are particularly exempt from that because there's no free market economy. Normally, if you get poisoned by Coca-Cola, you can stop drinking Coca-Cola. But if you get poisoned by a vaccine, your kids still have to take that vaccine to get into the school. If your doctor tells you your child will die because, he can look and see what happened to elder siblings, there's some kind of genetic vulnerability that's affected the older siblings, and the doctor wants to tell you, your 3rd child should not take this vaccine, he's going to be punished for that. And also the schools won't let you go to school no matter what. So in New York and California, there's not only no religious exemptions, there's no philosophical exemptions, but there also effectively is no medical exemption. So these kids, it's mandated, and because it's mandated, there's no market forces that tell you that allow you, if you don't like the product, if you have reservations about it, you can't stop using it. You got to take it anyway. So the things and then you have, of course, the mainstream media is bought and brain dead when it comes to these issues. They will not criticize. They will not report vaccine injury. The Congress is very with the. So you have none of the market forces that apply that make other products safe. There is zero incentive for these companies to make them safe. And they don't get punished for it in the market. They don't get punished for it in the court. And so, what we're going to try to do is to make sure that the parents who do get injured get compensation, that they get it very quickly, and they get it without the kind of adversarial impediments that have now been erected over the past 40 years.
Amen. Thank goodness we have JFK in office, and it's about time someone's holding these people accountable. It's really a form, if you really think about it, in my mind, of discreet and disguised mass genocide when you look at the pharmaceutical industry and the vaccine industry specifically over the last few decades. All right, now here's Charlie Kirk talk about irony. This was posted on April 7th of this year. Assassination culture is spreading on the left. 48% of liberals say it would be at least somewhat justified to murder Elon Musk. 55% said the same about Donald Trump. In California, activists are naming ballot measures after Luigi Mangione. The left is being whipped into a violent frenzy. Any setback, whether losing an election or losing a court case, justifies a maximally violent response. This is the natural outgrowth of left-wing protest culture, tolerating violence and mayhem for years on end. The cowardice of local prosecutors and school officials have turned the left into a ticking time bomb. This is really sad to see, and it's sad the time we're living in. So let's get this. I didn't know this. This was fascinating to me. In the U.S., 32 states allow judges, including magistrates, to serve without a law degree. In North Carolina, where the killer of Erna Zarutska was released, over 80% of magistrates lack law degrees. Check this out.
Did you know the judge that released this guy didn't even go to law school? Yeah, not even a lawyer. These magistrate judges that are making a decision to release these people without bail, they're not even lawyers. They didn't go to law school. They didn't pass the bar. They just got appointed to be judges. No training required. Oh yeah, and that's the case in states like North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, Texas, Arizona. They don't even have to be lawyers, but they can be judges. They don't have to go to law school. They don't have to pass the bar. However, they sit in judgment over people who did. How the fuck is this a thing? How the fuck do we have judges who didn't even study the law? How did this ever become a thing? That's one of the most insane things I've ever heard. Like, to be somebody's lawyer, you have to go to law school, you got to pass the bar. Like, just to represent a client, you have to do that. To be able to prosecute that person, you got to go to law school, you got to pass the bar. But to be the judge, to be the person overseeing these lawyers, to be the ultimate arbiter of the law, you don't have to go to law school, you don't have to pass the bar. How is this a fucking thing?
Yeah, and it's a real spiritual battle that we're entering here. I was with a buddy of mine recently, earlier today, and he mentioned to me, sorry, just hoping to share something. The truth is, today as a Christian, it's going to be very difficult for us. If you're on the side of righteousness, if you're on the side of good, this next little bit of time may require a lot more from us than I think many of us may have been prepared for. Now I'm going to share a quick tab. In case it needs to be said, remain calm. When you fall victim to anger, you play right into your opponent's hands. Blinded by rage, you can't calculate properly the consequences of your behavior. pray and remain steadfast, and remember that this is his spiritual battle. There's a war going on